Today we're going to be doing a follow-up to a couple of the TOUGHBUILT worktable reviews that we've done in the past, and we're going to be comparing our Worx Pegasus worktable over there to our TOUGHBUILT QuickSet. Starting with the price, both of these retail for $149 and on sale. I've seen that Worx one around $100, around some of the holidays even cheaper than that, around $90. Over here on the TOUGHBUILT side, I saw this one recently on sale around $110. If you're interested in where these are made, over there on the Worx, it's made in China. Over here on our TOUGHBUILT side, on the box it says it's engineered and designed in the US and it's built in India. Then the last thing here before we get these opened up and start going through some of the features and the specs on these is the warranty. Over there on the Worx it's going to be a 3-year. On our TOUGHBUILT it does come with a limited lifetime warranty. As we get these opened up, as you can see, both of these when they're collapsed, they're pretty compact. And from a weight standpoint, over here on the Worx it's going to come in at 30 pounds. Over there on our TOUGHBUILT it's going to be 32. To carry this one over here, you're going to want to hold it here on this side here, or obviously on the other side, and you can carry it around like that. Over here on the TOUGHBUILT side, you have a couple different options. You can hold it up here. You can really hold it anywhere around here, on the sides, etc. there. And they also have a handle on the side over here, so you can also carry it like this as well. To get these opened up, over here, you're simply just going to open up that side, open up that side, and now you're ready to go. When you want to collapse it, you're going to press in that, press in the one on the other side, and it'll fold down. And likewise, do the same thing on this side. And it'll fold down. The one thing you're going to notice here on this setup, this is actually considered a 2-in-1, because in this setup right here, it's considered a Sawhorse, and the rating on this is going to be 1,000 pounds. If you open up your table, the table is going to be rated at only 300 pounds. So that is one of the first differences that you're going to see between this table. Over there on the TOUGHBUILT side, that one's equivalent to 1,000 for the entire table, versus over here, only the Sawhorse portion is rated at 1,000. The table is only rated at 300. Then over here on the TOUGHBUILT, you just have a couple buttons. So there's a 1 and a 2, and I'll give you a couple close-up pictures. So to open it, press the 1, then press the 2, pushes the handle back in, then it's set up. Then when you want to collapse it, just press the 1 again, and it's collapsed and ready for you to move it wherever you want. One call out on this handle that I really do like about this TOUGHBUILT, I did a separate video on a DeWalt where it just has the handle sticking out. So this is a nice feature that I really do like on this TOUGHBUILT. In regard to the dimensions, our TOUGHBUILT's going to come in at 31 inches from the ground up, and over there on our Worx it's going to be 32. The length over here is going to be 33.5. Then our width is going to be 23 3/4. Over here on the Worx table, our length is going to be roughly 31 inches, and our width is going to be 25. Moving on to the work surfaces, we'll start here with the TOUGHBUILT. First thing you're going to notice is you do have a ruler on both sides here. In addition, you have these angle marks. So if you're looking to get a quick measurement on something you're working on, you can simply use those markings in order to do that. You're also going to notice all these bench dog holes here, and also these holes here for clamps. So what you can do on these, you can purchase a number of these, and these are relatively cheap. You can get whole packs of these on Amazon for $5, $10. So you can put those in there. So if you're looking to hold some material at a certain angle, etc., there, you can use those. Then on the clamps, what you can do on these is you can use these included holes. So if you're working on something there to cut it, you can simply cut it there. And what I do like about this TOUGHBUILT is it has a bunch of these holes, so you really have endless options on where you can clamp things down. Then the one other thing over here is this Cliptech hub, and they do include one of these. When you buy the table, you have option to put an additional 3 on all 4 corners here, so you can go buy these sets here, and I don't remember what this was. It's like $10 for a 3-pack of these, and you can put additional ones on there. If you're interested on that, they don't give you the screws to tie those in there. I do a separate video showing the size of the screw and how you can get those installed. But what this allows you to do is you can take their pouches and you can snap them in place there. So if you're up here working on something, you don't have bolts and screws rolling off the table, you can simply put them in here. When you're done, they also make tool belts, and I do a separate video on that as well, where you can snap it in place, then you can go walk around when you're done, come back over here, and snapping in place. So that is a really unique feature that I do like about this ToughBuilt as well. Moving on to the Worx table, you're going to notice you do have a ruler marking on both sides here, and you also do have some bench dog holes. The one difference here on this table versus our ToughBuilt is they also include 4 of these clamping dogs here, and they're neatly folded underneath there, and I'll show you how those are folded down there. And they also give you 2 of these clamps here. So what you can do on this is slide this in, and to get this snapped in place, simply pull the trigger back like that, then it locks in place. And likewise, you can do the same thing over here on this side. Then what that will allow you to do is you can take material there and you can tighten both of those in order to clamp things down. The one thing here is you're going to notice it's not the tightest when this is here, and I'll loosen this up and I'll show you how loose these sit in here. They're really not that tight, but it is a nice feature that you can do on here. You can also remove these. And this is probably what I would do if I was using this. I would simply clamp them down like this because you get a lot better clamping force and it'll hold it a lot tighter when you clamp it on the side. So there you can see that's a lot more solid than what it is if you use those. But you know, you do have the option. And also one other note on those is you can have this table folded down and you can be working at an angle with those clamps in those little slots there. So that is kind of a nice feature that I like on the clamps. Then to remove these, all you do is just pull the trigger and it slides out like that. Then the last thing to call out up here is these link locks. They include 2 of these and you got another one back there. So what this allows you to do is if you buy multiple tables, you can stack these here together and they'll lock in place. So you can move that over there and you have endless options on all 4 corners here. The only call out here is this isn't going to be a very tight lock in here, but it will hold it in place somewhat. You can also use clamps and other things underneath to hold it in place. If you look back here on these ToughBuilt, I did a separate video on this. I actually put some fender washers and a couple of screws on that. And as you can see, that's just going to be a lot sturdier of a setup versus this link here. But again, it is a free solution that you got over here versus on the ToughBuilt. You got to rig something up yourself as it's not included in order to link those together like I have back there. All right, so what are my final thoughts here? We'll start with the construction. The overall construction, I'll be honest with you, over here on this Worx table, it doesn't look like it's very tough. I mean, if you look at the material on the side here, it's a lot thinner than what our ToughBuilt is. And likewise over here, we have a solid corner versus over here we don't. It might not seem like that big of a deal, but if you're going to be transporting these a lot, and I showed this in that DeWalt video that I did as well, these corners get beat up a lot, and what happens is they crack. By having this solid corner here, you're going to prevent that. So that is something that our ToughBuilt is built a little bit better in regard to the top. Likewise on the legs, you can see those are heavy-duty metal legs. First over here, you got plastic Sawhorse legs, and you know that is the other thing. I'm just really not a big fan of that bottom portion there because you know if you've ever used any of those plastic Sawhorses, these pieces on the bottom, these are going to break in no time. You know, I can give you a couple pictures of some of the DeWalt Stanley Black & Decker plastic Sawhorses that I've used over the time. These just are going to crack here, they're going to crack here. So that is something I wish on this table here. They did a good job up here on this metal piece here that's holding this here. I wish they would just do a very similar, not only down there on those, but up here. These are all plastic, and you know, over time those are just going to break. And some of the reviews I've read, they talk about those breaking down there in those weak points. So you know, that is something I think they could improve. In regard to the sturdiness, now I know neither one of these recommend putting weight on the outside. They talk about evenly distributed weight. That is something you're going to notice that there is a little flex on there on this one here versus over here. And I'm 130 pounds, and as you can see, that one doesn't move versus over here. You know, you could almost break that off if you wanted, but it is pretty solid when you get up in here. But there's just a lot of movement with a lot of those plastic pieces there. So if there's one thing I think they can improve on that, yes, I think the top could be a little bit better, but I think the bigger weak point is going to be some of those plastic connections down there because, you know, again, they're just going to be prone to breaking over time. With that said, although the ToughBuilt may have a better top, from a stability standpoint, this is where the Worx table is clearly the winner. As you can see, there's very little movement left to right there. Likewise, back and forth. If we come over here on our ToughBuilt, you're going to see this just has a lot more movement. Versus again, over here, you don't see that. So that is one area where definitely the Worx table is a little bit better in regard to stability. Then the other thing, if you're looking at some of the included options over here, it's hard to complain about a free clamp they included down there, and also those clamping dogs that are up here as well, and the link connects. If those are things that are important to you, obviously, those are good. They're free options. With that said, don't be alarmed when you use those quick clamps. Those aren't going to be anything special. I've always used a lot of those Jurgensen Cabinet Master clamps back there, some of those Irwin quick clamps. I think those are a lot better clamps, but again, it's hard to complain when they're free. And then likewise over there on the ToughBuilt, if you're interested in the pouches, I think that's a good route to go as well, because you have endless options on what you can do over there. So I think there's a time and place for both of these. All right, to wrap things up here, if you're in the market for one of these portable workbenches, I really wouldn't hesitate on either one of these. Obviously I have a handful of these ToughBuilt over here. You can see that I really do like those, and I use those regularly. They come in very handy, and I think they're very strong for what they are in regard to plastic. With that said, over here on this option here, if you're looking for the additional clamps, those clamping dogs, etc. there, down there, or those link connects up here, or in addition, you have a couple more options with, the coal cutouts in here where you can put different things in here. I think this is a solid option too if you're looking out there, depending on the price. Maybe one's full price, maybe one's on the sale. I really do think this is a solid option. And unlike that DeWalt table that I did a separate video, this one is 100% flat, just like our ToughBuilt one is over there. If you check out that other link, every single one of the DeWalt ones, and I check like 10 of them in store, were all bowed in the center. So I think this is probably a good second option, to that ToughBuilt over there. But again, I still like the ToughBuilt, but I think these are two solid options up here. So hopefully this helped you out if you're in the market for one of these portable workbenches. If it did, please give me the thumbs up. If you're interested in more content like this, please hit that subscribe. But again, I hope this helped you out, and thanks for watching.